live session with an investor. Really cool. Ideally, you want to invest between 4 to 6 million, and you're trying to identify which place makes sense. Should I make one investment which is beachfront, or should I make two investments in strategic areas? Because the goal is I want rental income when I retire, correct?
Yes.
And now, luckily, because Sir has lived for 21 years in Dubai, you know every place of Dubai, right? Okay, you don't know, that's also fine. Okay, so first I understand the beachfront. I want to explain the beachfront. So I was dividing the beachfront into 3 sections. This being downtown. So the total coastline that we have is around 72 kilometers. So one thing, you're correct, it is very limited. But I'm going to segregate this into affordable luxury, ultra luxury, and luxury. Now people think Palm is luxury. Palm is ultra luxury. But the truth being, once you study what the government is planning in this section, and it makes logical sense, right? This place is closest to downtown, and that place is towards the south, and this place is towards the Sharjah side, right? Right now, over here, okay, we are running close to around 3,000 dirham per square foot, right? Over here, you know where Haptur city is? So right opposite Haptur city, there's this canal. And that canal is saying it's going to be Billionaires Row because the Cipriani residences, Nobu residences. At the end of the canal, you have the Four Seasons over here. Now, have you been to Four Seasons in Jumeirah? So there's this very fancy, shamancy place called Namos, unnecessarily expensive, but it's probably one of those most expensive restaurants. So if you sit in that restaurant, you will see this entire peninsula being built. Now, people thought it was a casino. But what it is there's this developer called H&H, who's developing a complete. So Dubai does not have an ultra luxury destination as such. Right now, if you think of an ultra luxury destination, Blue Water Island,
Bulgari.
but it's not like Bulgari is like one place, right? It's not like it's not like downtown. I'm talking about the entire peninsula is ultra luxury. In Palm also, you have different kind of projects. You have an Azizi building in the Palm. so it's a mix. Here, very few buildings. There'll be 3 hotels and their residences. The Redwood Hotel from London. I don't know if you've heard of the Aman. So the Aman from again ultra.
Fantastic resort in Bali.
Right. So it's as nice as it gets, right? And then maybe they're in talks with the Peninsula from London as well. So that's it, and their residences. People don't even know about this project. Now, have you been to the J1 beach recently? It's such a clean crowd, such a clean elite crowd. Now, when I tell clean, you understand. When you go to the Palm, it's not exactly clean. You would understand. That you know. Have you been to the 5?
I haven't been to most places, to be honest.
Okay, that's fine.
I live in the desert.
So very, very clean crowd. So this is important to know because this will help boost the entire coastal region at the end of the day. So this peninsula is being sold currently close to 8,000 per square foot. 80% is sold out. Over here, launches are going to happen somewhere around 6,000 per square foot. Why I'm calling this ultra luxury is because of the limited supply. Over here, in this new launch called Sulaya, and Jumeirah Group is also coming up with a launch. There are only 263 units. That's it. There's nothing else. In that whole region, 263 units on the beach. Low-rise buildings on the beach. That's it. Same place over here. I think why Blue Waters was interesting because in the whole of Blue Water Islands there were around 10 buildings. That's it. 10 residential low-rise buildings. Right. So very, very limited supply. So I think exclusivity is the difference between exclusivity and infrastructure. I think that's the difference between ultra luxury and let's say affordable luxury. Now over here, one factor why now Dubai Islands you had mentioned, right? So let's stick to Dubai Islands. This is Dubai Islands. This is RYM and this is Maritime City. Okay. So Maritime City, RYM. This is Island A and this is Island B. Now, Island A, there's a slight concern because it's on that flight path that, like I've mentioned, right? So the flight path goes something like this, where this is red zone, and it sort of narrows down as it goes. But the whole of Island A is predominantly in that red means it's a vacuum cleaner sound. So there are speculations that around 2033 this airport will go towards the new Maktoum airport, but then reality being 27 to 23 33, who wants to adjust? Nobody wants to adjust in Dubai. Like in Mirdif, if you go to Mirdif, there's that sound, right? So it did affect the rentals in that area, even though Mirdif is a great location, right? Island B is quite safe. So this is where Baygrove was launched by Nakhil. Now, Island B is going to be interesting because it's away from the flight path, so maybe that will be an interesting location as well. But recently, Imtiaz had a launch over here, which is selling at 3,500 dirham per square foot. So the Kotia house by Imtiaz, again, it was a good launch because it's private beach and all of that, but 3,500 dirham per square foot is a bit steep. RYM, Emaar is the safest investment. So when I made my first investment, it was Emaar. Like Emaar is the safest, as safe as you can get, because Emaar builds phenomenal infrastructure. Right now, the only challenge with Emaar, and probably they will do a rebranding for themselves, is that there's a perspective that Emaar builds phenomenal infrastructure, but the quality of the property itself is not up to the expectation of the ultra HNIs who are coming. Like let's say somebody from Singapore or China, when they come, they're very picky about the finishes of the property, build quality.
Because I have friends, Singaporeans who bought in Waterfront.
Okay.
They're not impressed with build quality.
I had the same situation. Now, when I say this, people are like, now you're not deselling Emaar. I'm not deselling Emaar. I resonate with the market.
Correct. The market voice.
Market voice. I resonate with the market voice. If someone tells me, now, I had this Chinese investor who invested in one Zabil, and they were like, we wanted to buy an Emaar beachfront, but we were not impressed with the quality. So, and that is where developers like Ellington, Shobha, Omniath score, because their build quality is fantastic. So people are willing to pay that premium, but they are very particular on quality.
It's quite obvious with the clients you have right now.
Right.
I'm not that ultra high net worth individual.
You are.
But I don't want my time wasted. When I have build quality issues and there's leaks and this and that, that's my time wasted dealing with all that.
Correct.
Which takes away from productivity in other areas of my life.
Correct.
So I think people pay a premium at some point. You pay a premium for quality of life.
100%. 100%.
And that's what I think most people are looking for now who can.
Now, over here, a very interesting thing is that one of the largest yacht bays are going to be over here on, I think, 436 berths, so that is quite interesting, because where there will be, and there will be a cruise terminal over here as well. That means it is going to definitely attract a very interesting crowd. So, I love the fact that Maritime City was taken over by Omniath, because Omniath, I've never seen an Omniath building with lower build quality. I've never seen one. And it's interesting fact, one of the biggest selling points of Omniath is that right now there's a tower called Anwa over there. It's the only tower. The reason being, initially Rashid Yachts and Marina was Meena Rashid. If you remember, it was first launched as Meena Rashid, Port Meena, that was the name. And then there's a bit dip in the market. So all these plots that Damak, Dani, all of them had the plots over there, but they backed off from developing. The only person who developed was actually Omniath. So the owner of Omniath is a Kuwaiti guy from the UK. So he's like, let's stick to my commitment. I will complete the, no matter what. It was a big hit for him financially, but I respect the ethic of the person. So that was very interesting. So definitely, see, Omniath, let's say, in this entire, this is Palm Jebel happening over here as well. But in this entire scheme of things, I think, let's say, right now, from all of this, one product that, yeah, sure.
Just off my mind, right?
Sure.
Cruise terminals are not really appealing to me.
Okay.
It's volume. It's like
Okay.
a busload of tourists.
Okay,
Because
that's,
when they do their day excursion and trips,
too
it's
many
a
people.
different kind of vibe.
Okay.
So when you are referring to the Omnia taking over the whole maritime city,
Right.
are there other projects on the other side?
Like this side,
Yeah.
I
Or is
think
it all facing the cruise terminal?
they are facing a cruise terminal. They are facing.
Because, for example, Island D is
Yeah.
quite away from that
It is.
cruise terminal
It is.
because there's probably going to be commercial ship repair facilities there as well.
In the other side of Maritime City. So there's a bit of an industrial area over here.
So that side's industrial. On one side you're
Yeah.
industrial, the other side you're
You're commercial.
Then you're stuck in the middle of these two places.
See, that was a factor, but then some people found it like, okay, it really helped. In US, there are some places that were half industrial and then half on the beachfront, and it still worked out quite well. See, and in terms of location, because it is still it's around, let's say, 15 minutes to downtown, right? So it is convenient, because at the same time, see, Dera Islands, I think you have to drive at least around 30 minutes from downtown, because it's quite a long drive. In fact, I think this is the same distance to Mamzar. You know, so it is the border of Mamzar, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, that is quite. But amongst that entire section, I think Omnia stands like strong in terms of pricing, payment plan. You know, it is quite strong. Now the comparison actually is with. So I have explained that downtown will always remain downtown. This is our Burj Khalifa right here. And I've always explained apartments around downtown will always make sense. So right now, okay, so this is, let's say there's this Ras Al Khor Wildlife Sanctuary and this Creek Harbor coming up over here. At some stage there'll be a creek tower over here as well, and then that'll be a beautiful skyline. Now opposite the sanctuary, there is this Shobha building, Shobha 1 over here. There are all these commercial warehouses, but then they're being evacuated because they want, that's prime real estate, right? So that's going to be a lot of development. He is launching, so if you see the designs, it's very similar to an Emaar quality, Emaar build, but the infrastructure is very Emaar, but the internal quality, it's like Ellington, you know, because he's like, okay, it's the same story as Ellington, because Ellington, what happened is a CEO of Emaar left Emaar and he wanted luxury for the audience, the common man, but later he forgot about that, he became ultra luxury. But initially, if you've seen the Belgravia in JVC by Ellington, the first project of Ellington, it was beautiful. People left Dubai Marine to live in Belgravia, you know, because the apartment was really beautiful. So this, I think, he's selling it at around 1,800 to 2,000 dirham per square foot. There is a 50-50 payment plan. So that's one interesting. I'm just telling you some options that in my head. Then right opposite downtown, there's City Walk over here, and over here this is location called Jumeirah Garden City. Have you been to Jumeirah Garden City? It's right next to it. It's behind, you know, the Conrad Hotel.
Yeah.
Right behind the Conrad Hotel.
So you did the video on the 1 million.
Yeah, the white guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the place. That's the place. Yeah. So.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's rebranded, you know, it's rebranded. So over here,
Basically, you can label it as just behind Ravi's.
that's tough.
Walking distance.
I like saying behind Conrad. At the end of the day, I'm a sales guy, you know. So over here, I think there's an interesting project. Again, it's a European developer, and they have around 17 projects. And if you go to their office, a Russian developer, okay, so that means they do have the money. And then if you see the construction materials that are used, very European, I think it's a potential, you know, monthly rentals. You know, I think it'll be easily rented out because the location is absolutely prime, right? Over here, again, around 1,800 to 2,000 dirham per square foot you can get. So we're looking at around beds around studios 1 million. So 50-50 payment plan is around 500,000, a 1 bed around 1.6, 2 bed around 2.3, you know, and so in a 50-50 payment plan, half of this you have to invest and the half can be, let's say, financed. And
Question about this payment.
yeah.
From your experience, like Emirates 80/20.
Correct.
Somebody else 70/30.
Correct.
When they load it like 50/50, cash flow would be an issue at some point for the developers. Do they end up cutting corners in the material and the build quality when it's like 50/50?
No, actually, the thing is, see, if they have to challenge giants like Ema, Nakhil, they need to buck up on quality, and not everyone does. Few developers, like I said, Shobha, Ellington, Omniat. Now, these are some developers that I've found. Again, this guy has a reputation to maintain, right? And these guys are going to come big. They're going to come big. These guys, again, Russians, they want to come big. The fact that they bought 17 plots and they're developing, and if you see the office, you'll see, okay, these guys are not joking, they're in a serious business.
Build quality is there.
Build quality 100% be there. Now, another location that I like, as just maybe like you said, two properties with just rental income, is Furjan. I like Furjan as a location. So that's down there.
If you don't mind, I'm going to skip.
You're going to skip Furjan? Okay.
I like the idea of saying
near downtown area. I like this area too. I just give them as an option. So in this entire zone, I think there's another location called Heartland 2, which is also over here, near downtown. I think these three locations, if you're not skipping Furjan.
What's your thoughts on, like, if I bought a townhouse to rent out in Miras Nara Shiba Gardens?
But isn't it now, if you buy, I think you've sort of missed the bus, right? The prices have really shot up. Now,
you're very right. I have missed the bus.
You missed. See, if you're buying a townhouse now, I think townhouse you'll have to buy in the suburbs. So townhouse, I think at this stage a good deal. 3 areas. This is downtown. Dubai Airline Road. The valley is here. There's Damak Hills 2 over here. Then this is, I'm telling you all the options you have. Valley. Shobha is here. Elwood is here. Then Sukim Street. Nashama is here, right opposite Nashama. There's a Mira by Ima. Right behind Mira, you have the Damak Islands and Sun City by Damak. So I think over here by Damak you can get like a 4-bed townhouse around 2 million dirhams. So that is for long-term rentals is not a bad option, because I think buying a house, a 4-bed house around 2 million dirhams, you can't go wrong. It's as low as it gets. Right now, if I look at a house in Sun in Arabian Ranches 3, which is around 1,700 to 1,800 square foot. If I look at Villanova, La Rosa, nice townhouses. It's around, again, 1,900 square foot. And then there's Eden in the valley, which is around 1,700 square foot. These are the smallest townhouse in the market. Nashama also, smallest townhouse in the market, and all of them 3 beds are going for around 3 million dirhams. So I think if you invest a 4-bed around, if townhouses, I think currently Valley and Damak, that's about it. Then Emaar is going to come up with some townhouses in Emaar South, close to the airport. I don't know why somehow Emaar South feels a bit too far away for me. Now, why? So some people told me Valley is a bit far, but in all honesty, so I live here. So this is the villa, and this is Villanova, and then this is Arabian Ranches 3, right? So I live here. So my daily routine is I drive from here, go drop my son to school in Silicon Oasis, and then I find my way to Business Bay downtown. And I'm used to this location. So from here I'll probably move to Valley, because once your kid's school is sorted, you don't want to move away from that area, right? So
and it's kind of nice that it's one road.
One road.
Not taking any exits and everything.
So when people tell me, I'm like, see, Valley is here. Shobha's building Elwood. Elwood, the entry price itself is somewhere around 7 to 8 million. Then over here, Miras has bought a plot, so probably Miras is going to start over. So it's going to be quite a nice location. And I because I live there, I know it's not too far off. It's convenient. It's a nice location.
Return on investment point of view for rentals, would it be better for me to have, say, 2 1-bedroom units with waterfront, like say either the islands or something like that, get 2 units there,
Mm-hmm.
or buy 1 unit in the waterfront and 1 in the valley.
See, I think currently where the prices are at, see, one bed have stopped making sense to me in waterfront, because when a one bed crosses 2 million, it's a big concern for me. You know, like I think the only transaction I have seen selling a one bed about 2 million in my, and say I've been doing this for 15 years. You know? Address Dubai Creek Harbor. I sold to a doctor a one bed around 2.65 million, and I told him it was a bad investment, but he told me I love the address. I don't care. So I've met people like these also who buy at stupid prices, you know. So, but that was probably because it was one bed, really high floor. It was the address, fully serviced. You know, he's going to have the creek tower view in the future.
An
Emotional attachment to it. You know, it was an emotional attachment to it. As an investment, it didn't make sense. But I don't understand. So if I had 2 million dirhams, will I go for a one bedroom or will I go for a townhouse? You know. So if it's waterfront, you're gonna buy, and normally one beds have the worst views as well. So that's so in any property, if you see, let's say if this is the sea, the one beds will either be here, it'll be behind. Here it's going to be the two beds and the three beds. You know, so this is how normally it's allocated. They get the most prime views. So if you're looking at waterfront, you're looking at a two bed. So your comparison will be between a two bed waterfront property plus a one bed like near in one of those locations near, you know, the downtown area, or two one beds.
I think 2 1 beds would be stretching my budget. Sorry, 2 beds would be
Yeah,
stretching.
two beds will be stretching your budget, or it would be, yeah,
The 2 bedrooms are under 3 million.
the two. Oh no, it crosses. It is around 3.5.
Talking about the group, right?
No. I'm talking about Orise.
Where's all?
Orise is next to Saria. It's again by Omniath. By Omniath. Yeah. So around 3
So
point.
the Bay Grove is the one that's more affordable.
Yeah.
You do work in Nakil as well.
I work everywhere. I work with anything that makes sense. See, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make an Excel sheet for you, where we'll put these products, right? Let's put Orise, okay, and then it'll have price per square foot, price, payment plan, price till handover, how much you're paying till handover, potential ROI, potential ROE, like at what price it'll, because see, for some products I don't expect any appreciation, right? If you're buying at the top, you're stuck at that price,
Someone told me you make money in real estate not when you sell. It's the price you buy.
right?
That's stuck in
So that's the thing. So unfortunately, there are some products that you're buying at the peak, you know, and it doesn't make sense.
It's going at roughly 2.6 to 2.8, 2.9
Ah, perfect. Yeah,
per square.
yeah, 2.9 per square foot, 2.9.
No, because there's some for 2.6, 2.5,
Yeah.
2.8, 7.
So I'll put Orise. I'll put Amal. I'll put this object one. I'm gonna put a Valley townhouse. I'm gonna put a Valley semi-detached villa called Avina. I'm gonna put not Imar South, a Damak townhouse, like one of the,
From your video, then what I found quite interesting was Farm Grove.
yeah,
So I made a quick phone call just to get a price reference.
right.
Avina and Farm Grove price difference is not much.
That's why I like Avina more. So it's a big trend because
Can I
the
add one more?
yeah.
Berkshire Hathaway started up a US investment arm here for luxury properties during COVID. And I was like, really? Yeah, Warren Buffett's company
Oh, yeah.
has a luxury property arm here. And I go like, the Americans are coming here? And
But that
these
was
high
big.
net worth individuals-
This was big. This
Yeah.
was big.
And I go like, that was the trend.
So because why there were so many restrictions, and businessmen hated restrictions because business had to run. So I was shocked because Royal Atlantis was full. Royal Atlantis was sold out during COVID. No, see, so during COVID,
I remember the prices were very low, extremely low.
so
But it wasn't sold out.
it was sold.
No, the second year of COVID.
Second year of COVID.
But you know they're quite smart, right? Cheap hotel rooms, but where are you going to eat? You're still paying full prices in the restaurant.
So why? So I was working during COVID because one of my clients was Raytheon. So Raytheon was
Raytheon, the defense
yeah.
contractors.
So I was a bit into corporate relocation. So these soldiers were coming in. So Raytheon was hired by the Abu Dhabi army. So I had permission to go out during COVID, and I was seeing this trend of all these high-end lawyers, businessmen, all moving into Dubai because they were annoyed because it's the first time all family was locked in together and they couldn't handle each other, so they had to run out somewhere. Dubai was a place that they could. and then it was funny during COVID, the parties were high at the five. So COVID was this was one of the first trends. Then the second trend, of course, the Russian Ukraine war. So the Russia-Ukraine war brought in all the funding because developers were broke, bankrupt. I mean, I don't want to even name some of the developers. Like some of the biggest developers today, I know loan sharks who have given money to them. Big developers, even this Dheer, has I don't want to say the full name. Yeah. So this solved all the financial issues of because some of the biggest developers were developing properties in some of the most prime tier 1 locations, most prime buildings with gypsum walls. Biggest developers. Okay, that's all I'll say. And then that's all I will say. Bigger than the Mac. Now crypto was massive because Europeans, Americans, South Americans, they hate banks. Most people. So and they don't like. They feel like the bank. Like this is conspiracy theory, right? So they wanted to and the whole idea of Bitcoin was privacy, safety, outside banking system, and it was and when Dubai was one of those first cities that opened towards crypto, you can invest through crypto ATMs, you can cash out your crypto, it was very easy. So that was a big magnet. Then after this, now the trend that, Americans was also big. Americans coming in, so they were all between. Americans coming in was one of the biggest things because Americans, wherever they invest, there's a huge tax implication.
Even in like Malaysia, Singapore, you walk into a bank, if you're an American passport holder, they won't even open an account for you.
It is so hard to open a bank.
They need a whole department for compliance and regulatory oversight.
Yeah.
And it's not worth having 100 clients that you have to have a department.
It is so we started opening up bank accounts for our clients. Yeah, there was very complicated KYC and everything. It was really hard. There's a thing called FATCA that we have to sort out for Americans as well. Yeah. And so
W8 forms that you have to fill in every year.
Really complex. But then they started coming in. Now the biggest macroeconomic trend that people are trying to assess are the Chinese coming in, because Chinese left the market in between. But then when this casino hits the market, the speculation is that it's going to bring and now it's going to bring the Chinese back. And I started working with a few Chinese investors, and that itself is big, Another factor is, like, see, for example, a place like Singapore, the youth, the 30, 35 who are working in nice jobs like banking sector and everything, now over here, people don't realize, building has a pool, steam, sauna, gym, nice crowd, drive a nice car. People take it for granted in Dubai, but in Singapore, a person with a pretty good salary cannot afford that. And then they're like, I see a trend of a lot of these Indians moving from Singapore to Dubai just to live that lifestyle,
One of the reasons I left Singapore, I lived there for 8 years. I used to fly for Singapore Airlines.
Oh, nice.
And I joined Emirates.
Nice.
Because the Toyota Camry cost 450,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just didn't see the value in living in Singapore. And the younger people now, it's even more expensive for them.
Yes, and so a building that a typical high paid employee has no facilities. It's just a small shack,
I think the other attraction for UAE is the same reason why Monaco, Liechtenstein, all these places did well. People don't want to pay 40% tax
Yes.
in Europe.
Yes.
You pay more, getting less. Whereas here, it's really world-class security, honestly.
Oh, 100%. No, no. I feel like, see, it's one of those places that if my family walks out in at midnight, you can sleep
If
in
you have
peace.
teenage kids, you don't worry.
You do have teenage kids?
I don't have kids. I missed out. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's all right.
So, but
Okay.
my friends who have children, they actually feel more stressed when they go back to Europe for holidays.
Oh, 100%.
Because they're
100%.
like, wow. When they come back to Dubai, they actually feel more relaxed.
So again, I have some really interesting investors from the UK. UK is big now. Big now. The other day, okay, from UBS again, a study from UBS is that we saw there's a thing called millionaire migration,
It's been in the news.
right? And people think 26 now. So they increase the capital gains tax in UK. Now it's very difficult to sell their own house. So the government is posing heavy restriction because there's a big drain of people from the UK to Dubai.
They do that. They have to pay 50%,
Yeah,
40% or whatever.
And so they're saying that till 2029 there will be a constant migration of millionaires, ultra HNIs from the UK to Dubai. They're moving, but they're very strategically moving. From they cannot liquidate their assets easily, but they're like, Zohaib, we want to live in Dubai. We don't want to live in the UK. See, no, actually, it's funny. It's not because I have clients who are crypto gods, like OGs. I have one Mexican guy who bought, I don't know how many bitcoins. How many bitcoins did he say it was? Somebody, I don't know. Okay, large number of bitcoins.
Enough not to work.
Yeah, okay. Let's put it this way. He sold his house and bought bitcoins in 2016. Okay.
Wow.
So this guy he taught me about hedging crypto and making like close to compound interest and like 21%, 25. So he taught me a lot. So then I have these share market friends who explain to me about where to put money in stocks and everything. Real estate. Then see, the only other trajectory is, so now I'm partner with a venture capitalist from US. So of course it takes time to learn these things, but I've always been fascinated with this idea of building up a company and selling it in billions in Silicon Valley. I've been fascinated with that concept. Indians do it, so that's one of the. So I remember when you first sat, you told me that you like learning. So that's what I told him. I told him, I want a mentor. Because it's something I'm fascinated with. I want to learn. So he told you slowly we'll figure it out. Like I'll explain the whole process to you. So he's into the health sector. So he has something called 3x4 genetics. The whole idea of genetic testing and then health based on that and stuff like that. Very, very, very interesting. So that's one thing I'm yet to learn. But the rest, I feel like all of them, real estate is probably the safest asset to invest in. As long as you make a sensible decision, it's the safest asset to invest in.
And I don't have leverage.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not taking 3 bank loans.
Exactly. But that's another very interesting trend. In 2008, I think the reason market crashed was because of this. A person who could afford like one property bought 10 properties, right? And now it's different. A person who can afford 10 properties is buying one properties. That's it. So no, I think we are good. As long as we see, that is why we have Excel sheets. So we are removing the emotional part of it. If the numbers make sense, we go ahead. That's the plan.